In problem 25, we have a glass window composed of a rectangle that is h feet long by d feet wide and a semicircle with diameter d, as shown in the figure there. If the area of the semicircular region is 1/3 of the total area of the window, what is the ratio of h to d? So the important information here is that the area of the semicircular region is 1/3 of the total area of the window. So we're going to use that to create an equation. So the area of the semicircular region, which has a diameter of d, would be pi r squared, which would be the area of a circle divided by 2, but we need to use the diameter here, which is 2 times the radius. Or rather that the radius is half of the diameter. So if we need to use the variable d here, then we would substitute r with half of d, not with 2 times d, but with half of d. If we simplify that out, we're going to end up with the area of the semicircle being pi d squared over 8. So we'd get 1/2 d, quantity squared, would give us d squared over 4. The 4 would go into the denominator and we'd get 2 times 4, which is 8. Now the area of the rectangular region is simply dh. And the total area then would be the sum of those two, the rectangular region plus the semicircular region. So the total area would be dh plus pi d squared over 8. And now we're ready to construct our equation. We know that the area of the semicircular region is 1/3 the total area of the window. And so we would get AS over AT is equal to 1/3. And substituting in, we get pi d squared over 8, all divided by dh plus pi d squared over 8 is equal to 1/3. Now I may like to multiply the large fraction top and bottom by 8. And that would yield pi d squared in the numerator and 8dh plus pi d squared in the denominator. And we set that equal to 1/3. At this point we can cross multiply and we would get 3 pi d squared is equal to 8dh plus pi d squared. I can subtract pi d squared from both sides and I end up with 2 pi d squared is equal to 8dh. And I can start to think about what my goal is. My goal is to get h over d, or the ratio of h to d. And what I might see at that point is that if I divided both sides by d squared and then divided both sides by 8, I would be left with h over d on the right side and pi over 4 on the left side, so that the ratio would then be pi to 4. And that should do it for this problem.